Welcome to Educate Africa with Dr. Sanele Gamede. Today, I just want us to spend some time together looking at what is education to Africans. And you might be asking yourself, who is this guy who's about to tell us about what is education to us as Africans? I am a strategic youth life and a career consultant. I've spent my time on education. When I say I've spent my time on education, I mean I've spent years studying up to PhD, and I'm a very, very big fan of education. I love to see people educated, and I aspire to see many Africans having their qualification. And I thought, let me speak about the issue of what is education to Africans, because there has been that distortion around the idea of education. I will sound a little bit disappointing with these two things that I'm going to say, but allow me to say education is not these two things for Africans. Let me start with what education is not. Number one, education is not a ticket to freedom for Africans. And it will sound a little bit confusing, but allow me to explain. Number two, education is not a key to success for Africans. When I say education is not a ticket to freedom, freedom is all in the mind. Even the most educated people aren't free if their mind is not free. If education has not freed their mind, there are people in Africa who are still going through a lot, yet they have been educated, yet there have been so much money spent to them, and they have received better and quality education, but they are not yet free. So education is not a ticket to freedom. And when I say education is not a key to success, it is definitely not, because we do have people who are educated, very much educated, but they are not successful. So I want you to remove those two things. And I know that you are wondering, you have heard education is a key to success. Sanele, what do you mean now that education is not a key to success? Someone said to me, Sanele is not a key to success because every time I have the key, someone changes the locker. And I don't want to get to that part because it will spark a huge debate, because you will start asking, who changes the locker? Why do they change the locker? Maybe that's a discussion for another day. Let's get to what education is then for Africans. And I'm emphasizing for Africans because I want to make sure that my brothers and sisters do get what education is, because education has the ability and will liberate us, because education is about purpose. It's all about purpose. What is it that you are doing, and why you are doing what you are doing? Or why are you studying what you are about to study? Why are you interested in this quality? What is the purpose around that? You are not going to be free. You are not going to be successful if there is no purpose attached to that. So education is all about purpose. And it's all about purpose, especially for Africans, because for the longest time, the world seems to be moving, faster than us. And there is a strong need for us as Africans to figure out what is the purpose for education. I had a conversation with a client recently who wants to further her studies. And I asked the same question: for what purpose? What are you trying to achieve with this education? Because we have always complained that, hey, I don't have access to education. I don't have access to quality education. I think it is time that we ask ourselves, what is the purpose? Why do we want to be educated? And the minute you start understanding why you should be educated, it's the time you'll never have a situation where you get an opportunity to study and you fail all your modules, or you fail at school, or you don't even come to attend or go to school. Because purpose creates drive. It makes you wake up even when you don't want to wake up. Education is all about obtaining skills. And I know that there are so many people who are unemployed in Africa, especially in South Africa, where I am. And one of the biggest reasons we are finding ourselves with this problem, which is a biggest problem globally, if I may put it in that way, it's because people have forgotten that education is all about obtaining skills. So as you embark in your career, as you embark in your new chosen career, I want you to ask yourself, what skills are you picking up? What skills do you want to pick up? Especially for those that want to further their studies. The biggest question is, what skills have you obtained in the previous one? What do you want to add? Because I've seen people spending so much money in education only to find, when I ask them, what have you learned? They can't say anything. What skills have you obtained? They seem to struggle to exhibit the skills. In fact, most people, and I sound very terrible when I say to my clients, people who are unemployed are people who do not have skills. People who have skills, they have something to do. And if you have something to do, people are going to see that you have something to do or that you are doing something. And they're definitely going to buy your time. They're going to buy your skills because you have skills. You can do something. Education is about changing lives. If you hear someone saying, I am educated, but I'm sitting at home and it sounds like I'm useless, I feel like giving up, it's because their education is not changing anyone. In fact, it might have not even changed them. So when I say education is about changing lives, it has to start with you. How has your education changed you? How do you want to change your life through the education that you want to obtain? You want to further your studies? You want to add another qualification? Who do you want to change? Because education, it's all about changing lives. I know that you will say to me, Sanele, I want to get paid. I want to change my family background. I want to take care of my family and stuff like that. I agree with you, which is definitely what I'm trying to say. Education is all about changing lives. The more you get educated to change lives, is the more you are going to get opportunities. Opportunities are always there, but it's a matter of just figuring out, number one, the purpose, number two, the skills, and the people that you want to change through your education. I know that a doctor is changing lives every day. I know that a nurse is changing lives every day. I know that an engineer, a teacher, so many people are changing lives. So the question that I want you to ask yourself, who is being changed by the qualification or the education that you have obtained? Before you start complaining that you are unemployed, employed to change whose life? Because the issue of unemployment, actually, we can deal with it if we were all deliberate about changing people's lives. The last thing that I want to say about education for Africans, it has to be bigger than you. What I mean when I say it has to be bigger than you, I mean it can't be all about you. It shouldn't be all about you. When you obtain education, when you think of being educated for yourself, that's where you start being unemployed, because it's all about you. The minute you start thinking it's for the next person, it's for the community, it's for my country, it's for Africa, it's for the world, that's when you will start looking for opportunities in your community, in your country, in Africa, and outside. In fact, you are never going to be starved. Education for you will come so easy. Even studying won't be that difficult because you have the purpose, you know the skills that you want to pick, and you have identified the lives that you want to change, and you have seen and realized that education is bigger than you. Let me tell you a story. I did grade 10 twice, grade 11 twice, and grade 12 twice. Not because I wanted to change lives. I wanted to be educated so that I can make money, so that I can be able to buy a house and buy a car and take care of my mom and my siblings. And guess what? Life showed me flames. It wasn't like that. The more you think about yourself around the issue of education, the more it gets tougher. In fact, even the funding opportunities will get very slim if it's all about you. I want you to start thinking about education as a service, education as a tool to live a purpose-driven life. Don't think about education as a piece of paper. Yeah, you need the piece of paper. I will agree with everyone. But what does that piece of paper accompany? Do you have the skills that the world is looking for? So as Africans, let's start looking at education differently. I look forward to hear your comments on this one.